Whenever anyone asks what I do for work, I just tell them that I help people be better at their jobs.
Every day I wake up with a to-do list in my head, and inevitably it goes out the window as soon as I speak with my executive.
Hi, I'm Hugo. I am an executive assistant in the tech industry, and I've been in this role for 4 years.
Hi, I'm Maddie, and I'm a personal assistant. I work for an individual who's an author and a historian. For this position, I found it on Indeed.
My name is Frank, and I'm an executive assistant, and I've been in this role for 8 years.
You know, if you start this role and are not sure if you're good for it or not, people will tell you right away, very quickly. You'll know.
It takes an innate sensibility to be an executive assistant. People who gravitate to this line of work usually have that, otherwise they're not successful in that role.
Whenever anyone asks what I do for work, instead of giving them like all the details, I just tell them that I help people be better at their jobs.
I think multiple personality types can work in the role, and oftentimes we think of it as like, oh, you have to be super type A, which is true. It's like you have to be able to execute and have follow through, but you also have to be super quick on your feet. There's also an element of emotional intelligence when it comes to the role, just supporting big personalities.
I think some of the key skills for this type of work are being adaptable, being empathetic, enjoying life, because you're gonna come across so many things that you've never even thought would come your way. Learning how to be creative and adapt should be fun, I think.
I would say that the skills that are important would be personal responsibility, initiative and being able to follow through, punctuality, definitely organization. You have a lot of like information and data that's coming at you from all angles, so having a way to categorize it so that you can access it later is really important.
I only have one, and it's infinite flexibility, being able to be flexible in the due course of the day. It'll really help you get through. I think the soft skills are really the most important when it comes to this role. That is really key to being a good executive assistant, is your connection to the executive.
It's like a true partnership.
But hard skills can be taught, or you can learn them.
Yes.
You know,
on the job.
If you're not connected with that person, there's no amount of teaching that's going to overcome that, I think.
I know that people say the robots are taking over, but I think it's important to learn how to use them to your benefit. And
AI is such a hot topic right now, and I think in our role specifically, it's like, well, AI can do a lot of what we can do.
But it doesn't have the soft skills.
It doesn't have the soft skills, right. Really what people are paying you for is your intuition. Anyone can create a calendar event, anyone can send an email, but do you know what to say, when to say it?
Sometimes something comes up that we haven't dealt with before, and it's like, okay, how do we tackle this? What is the most creative way to get this done? The easiest way, the most creative way. Looking to find more inspiration for your next career move? Search Indeed on YouTube to get your job search organized and on track. An interview is just a conversation. Sometimes we get overwhelmed and think too much into it and sort of self-sabotage because we think we have to come across as this perfect person that knows how to do it all. And once you start the interview process showing how you can adapt to change, how you navigate uncertainty, adapt quickly is what keeps us in the role.
I think doing a little research before you do an interview, if it's a company or a person you're interviewing with, knowing as much as you can about them going in really will help you relax.
Being able to identify specifically what you've accomplished in the past and being able to find all of the common threads of all of your past experience and how you would take those skills and apply them to the job.
When you look at these job postings, it's all hard skills, or you have to go through numerous interviews with people who are not the executive. And I wish recruiters understood that more. And I always say, if you just start me with the executive, we'll know pretty much right away whether we're going to work well or not together. Every day I wake up with a to-do list in my head, and inevitably it goes out the window as soon as I speak with my executive, because their agenda is going to be completely different than my agenda was for that day. I have to go with their agenda for that day and find time later to catch up on the stuff that I was planning on doing that day.
So every day can look super different. In terms of how the flow goes is computer work in the morning, returning calls, paying invoices, checking the mail. She also has pets, so sometimes if the housekeeper doesn't come in on time, I'm taking out the dog, or I'm, feeding the bird. There's always a to-do list, and the to-do list is never done.
No, it
Yeah.
never is. Everything gets done eventually.
Eventually, that's
Yeah.
the key word. I used to work for someone who did not like any capital letters in any correspondence. So like every email had to be all lowercase.
That's the opposite of what I do because I work for a writer.
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
she's like, you didn't use the Oxford comma.
I feel like I live in a sitcom some days.
Oh, I feel like I could write up like a. When I look online, I see salaries from 60K to 200,000. They're paying you that much for a reason.
You're getting six figures because you have to be attached to your phone or your laptop.
It's a hard role to replace because there's so much that goes into what we do that you can't just replace somebody easily, overnight and have them fill your shoes.
It's like, do you remember my brother's friend's favorite color? Because we're getting him a gift, and it's just like, I was like, oh yeah, it's mauve.
Again, anyone can have the hard skills, but the soft skills and the context and historical knowledge is something that you build as you work with them. Training someone else will probably be more expensive than just the raise that you're asking for. Once you have proved you're successful in this role, you can become a chief of staff, which is similar to the work that we already do, but at like a larger, higher level. And so I think there's definitely opportunities for growth, not only financially, but professionally. If you decide to go the corporate route, you can go from different industry to different industry. You can sort of create the path for yourself that you want.
You're constantly doing things that people don't see, don't recognize, and it took a lot of work and a lot of forethought. Doing the menial tasks, it has a bigger picture.
It's sort of the rewarding part of the work, I think, just having had a hand in something bigger than you and bigger than your actual mundane tasks. Like if you look at the big picture, you're like, wow, I helped make that happen.
Check out more job insights right here on Indeed's channel.